Picking your major, paying for classes that crazy to think about. The second you, some of those things were a little going out or out, not knowing people, seeing friends. I'm so grateful for. Not gonna lie, was debating making this type of video, but then I thought if my experience and my kind of story could help someone out that's like going to college or maybe in college. I'm from Chicago, which is completely different from the West Coast, and personally I just wanted to try something new that was completely out of my comfort zone because a lot of people from my high school, not everyone, but a good amount I would say, go to schools within the Midwest. I wanted to do something that was like completely different, out of my comfort zone, as almost like far away as I could get. And then I just came into academics and they had social work, which was one of the majors that I was highly interested in. I actually ended up switching it, which I'll talk about later, but academics in that turn, and seemed like a good mix between like social life there as well as having like some sports. So it just seemed like great, and I visited and I loved it. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take the risk and go. If you're like kind of nervous about the college that you're going to, that it's like not the right one for you, you can transfer. Transferring is completely normal. I know a lot of people that ended up transferring their colleges. I know some people don't really talk about that. I mean, I did not transfer, but I'm like, your plans might change, your life might change, and that is totally okay. I came into and I applied as a social work major. In terms of picking your major, I know that can be like so stressful. I've been there, done that. I've spent like days researching like what I want to do with my life. Trust me, it is like not fun whatsoever. But if you're in a major and you do not see yourself having a career or something in that, switch it. Literally switch it. It's better off to switch it off like freshman year, first semester, second semester, maybe even sophomore year, but then know that like if you switch it anything later than that, in my opinion, you're most likely going to be behind. Maybe you have to do like an extra year or something, or just have to like do like a lot of classes, a lot of summer school and stuff. You also have to do more things that are like outside of just school academics, just like trying new things. Don't just like wait for opportunities to come, because they may not. Like, you kind of just have to like create them for yourself. I ended up switching my major to interdisciplinary studies, which is like IS30 for short. So I'm now in art, but like digital media, business marketing, and then journalism and media studies. So it's kind of just like a course that you can choose 3 different areas that you want to study. They can be in the similar study, they can be completely different. Doesn't really matter, you could create it on your own. But I do know that you can't go into state applying that major. You have to like switch into it, which is exactly what I did. With like course load and homework, honestly, it was not too bad, but maybe that's just because my classes aren't like as hard as like some other majors. I mean, it was still pretty difficult, but my like rule in my head was like, of course I like love editing and I always wanted to edit, but I would not edit until like I finished my schoolwork or something. So like that would motivate me to like actually get it done. So that's the reason why I would just mainly get my homework done like that, like literally right when it's assigned or whatever. I would do it. I would like email my professors like with a question or something, and then they'd be like, oh, ask the TA or whatever. So honestly, TAs are almost as important because they could be the ones that are like grading assignments or whatever. So that's also something like really important that I learned. Obviously, there were just some of those annoying gen eds that you do have to take, and like for like I took like a theater class. Like I just don't have any interest in theater or anything like that, and so that's like annoying that I have to take it. But I guess that's just part of college, paying for classes that you don't want to take, which honestly really doesn't make sense. If you put in the effort, you most likely will do well. If you study longer, most likely will do well. Not always the case. Some stuff you'll get a curveball thrown at you, but that's life. So yeah, nothing too crazy that happened with academics this year. I think one of the best parts of college is like your identity, and you don't always have to stick to one identity. That's not a good thing too. You should always be like switching, because you don't want to be just like stuck in like one trap of like you're just this one person. But in high school, I would say like my identity for myself at least was like I would do like gymnastics, because that was just like my life, like school, gymnastics, compete, like whatever. So I felt like that was just like a big component of like who I was, and I felt like I didn't know myself outside of that, and college was just like such a great chance to like create that new identity for myself, kind of like leaving that old person in the past. Not necessarily in a bad way, like I still loved who I was, but at the same time there was just some things that I did want to change and I wanted to experience, and one of those things was YouTube. And I'm so happy that I did that, because having this channel and having my other channel and starting up some other things just like opened up so many new doors and opportunities for me that like I never thought like could even like exist, and I'm so excited for the future. I feel like I'm still creating that along the way through life, but I feel like now it's like kind of expanding, and I'm just really happy that college gave me that chance to like find out more so and learn more about myself that I never knew before.
I literally could not tell you what got into me, but something got into me and I was just like switching my life like complete like 180. One big thing that I learned was like I literally cannot help other people if I don't fill up my cup first, you know? So I really started to have like a distinct morning routine, and I would be getting up at like 6 a.m. in college. Even if I had a class at like 8 a.m., like I would be getting up early, I would work out, I would literally meditate. Like what? Like me meditating, I thought that would be like the dumbest thing. And then also me reading. Reading is such a weird thing now. Like I love reading now. All these topics literally connect because I started taking care of myself, which meant I was able to like fill my own cup, which meant I was like way more off with like better at like making friends. I feel like I was much more energetic, and then also tying into classes in school, like I had way more energy to like go to classes. Like I wanted to walk to class to like get my steps in or whatever, and not in like a restriction way, but it was just like a good way, and it just like helped me out a lot in every single aspect of my life. I feel like of just like starting to take care of myself, and college was definitely the start of that, which is just like crazy to think about that I was getting into all this stuff at such a young age, I feel like, and I'm just happy that this journey is beginning with that, and college was definitely just the start of it. The biggest thing you're most likely gonna hear is time management, and it is true. You do need to have like a good schedule of everything. It's like prioritize like how much you want to take care of yourself. Like do you want to work out twice a week, 5 times a week, 7 times a week, whatever it is, like you just have to make some sort of like plan, whether it's on paper or like mentally, of like what you want to kind of like value in your life, whether that's like working out, going on walks, socializing, whatever it is. Time management is just like definitely big for that. Another thing is like literally just surrounding yourself with people that are good for you, because the second you surround yourself with some people that are not good influences, sooner or later you're going to turn into those people, and if it's someone that you don't want to become, then don't hang out with them. In high school, I loved hanging out with my friends, of course. I didn't really like stay in it too much. I was either like hanging out with my friends, babysitting, something like that. And at college, I totally thought that I was gonna be like a complete like going out like Thursday, Friday, Saturday times a week. Not like every single day, because I know like I would not be able to handle that, but definitely like 2 to 3 times a weekend. And I came in the first week, and don't regret this one bit, literally do not regret it one bit at all. But the first week I went out a really good amount just to like meet people, get kind of like the vibe of like, the going out life at school, and I made so many friends, and I'm so thankful for like going out that week and everything. But then for me, it literally got so old within like a second. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I only went out like once a weekend maybe, and that's like rare in college, I feel like. And then slowly it really just developed into me like not going out like at all, as in like parties and stuff. Like I would still like hang out with my friends and do different things, but like I did not find the need to go to a party or anything, and that's just me personally, not like hating on that. Like if that's your fun, go have that fun. I don't really know about it at other colleges, but here I feel like it was really easy to put yourself out there and make friends. Like I feel like a lot of people were very welcoming. I don't know if that was just my like point of view. Maybe that wasn't the same for other people's experience, but for me it was like, if you put yourself out there in like the dorm rooms or anything, like I feel like you're bound to just like kind of make friends, or like in your classes, maybe not like a friend group right away, but like definitely just like know a bunch of people. So I feel like the social life here in like that sense wasn't too hard. It doesn't need to be like a huge group of like 10-20 people. It can literally just be like one person that you like a lot, and you guys explore college together. That's maybe all you need, or maybe vibe alone, whatever it is. But just be a good person, and trust me, you'll be fine. I went into school not knowing anyone like specifically. I met my roommate, and I made a whole video on that if you want to check that out, on how that all worked out. But I had her, so she was like basically I feel like my only like friend that I really knew. So I went in not knowing people. So if you're going into college not knowing anyone, do not stress about it. I know your social anxiety or something might creep in, but don't let it get the best of you, because a lot of people are on the same boat. It may seem that a lot of people already have friends that going in, but there are so many people that don't have friends going in, and that's honestly a good thing, because you kind of want to like detach from your past in a way and kind of just like explore new friendships, see if you want to change your identity a little bit, which is kind of cool, and just like explore everything. So it's honestly a good thing if you don't have a lot of friends going into college, so don't stress about that. Social life of like going out was just kind of like extinct for me, because I simply just was not interested in it. I was more focused, I feel like, on like YouTube, and I would much rather be like
editing or something than like going out, or I would like want to stay in so that I could like wake up early and like get on like my routine of like working out early or something. So it was just like something I just kind of lost interest in. And I'm not saying I never went out, like I definitely did like insert videos and photos here. There's definitely a lot of people that also don't go out, but in my like kind of environment, like in the dorm rooms, like it felt like, at least to me, felt like, not actually, just felt like everyone was going out like almost every single day of the, not every single day, but a good amount of the week. And I would be in my room like by myself, kind of just like editing alone, which is not to sound in a sad way, like not like that was definitely my choice, but that's just kind of like what it felt like. So then I just kind of put that like division of like, oh, I'm not gonna go out, so like therefore it's gonna be maybe a little bit harder to make some friends. So I had to like try a little bit harder to keep in touch with some people, communicate with people, because I wasn't going out, because going out is like a great way to socialize and have friends in college. I would say personally that's one of like the biggest ways to do that. So I'm currently, still am, I did last year and am currently now still trying to find a way to like make those connections, have good friendships that aren't just revolved around going out. Okay, this is probably the first and last time that I will ever be talking about a sorority on my channel. I was even debating talking about this, but in the summer going into college, you kind of like can fill out some stuff if you want to rush, and I had like a good idea that I wanted to. My sisters were in Greek life, they were in a sorority at a different college, and it just seemed like a really good way to meet friends, make some connections, and have fun. So I was like, you know what, let me just like give it a go. So I gave it a go. I made a whole video like sorority rush, whatever, being that basic girl, making one of those. Some of those things were a little forced and fake, not gonna lie, it was kind of weird. So the whole process was like, it was good, but at the same time, like, I'm that person that like questions and analyzes a lot of stuff, so I was like kind of confused as to like why some things were being brought up, I guess, but it just felt like too much of like a forced process for me. I kind of like more like a natural thing, but I guess that just because it was online, and I don't know, so that was just like the whole kind of rushing thing. It was like good, but also just a little bit confused on how everything worked. I was in it and I was really happy with it. I'm not mad, I'm not like on the sorority or anything. Like, it was an amazing experience. I loved the girls, everyone was so nice. I'm still friends with so many people in that sorority, and it just came down, the reason why I just ended up dropping it was just because like it just wasn't for me. Simply, I don't think that a sorority is meant to be for every single person. I think a lot of people should try it out, see if it's for them. If it's not, you drop like how I did, or you continue to be in it and just like give it some more time and see how it goes. I was kind of debating if I should give it some more time and see if like it could get better or something, but it just like was not for me. And I mean, I did have some great memories, some great fun in it that I was in for like that first semester, but then it just came to a point where I just like was just not happy in it. So I just decided to drop. I was trying to put so much more effort into other things, and I was kind of putting like sorority life on like the back end. And I was like, why am I putting this on the back end if I'm paying for it? Someone could be loving the sorority so much more in my spot, if that makes sense, because there's only like a limited amount that they can take within each class. So if I wasn't 100% happy within it, let me give like some other girl an opportunity to have those amazing experiences, make those connections, and just have fun. Because if I wasn't happy in it, like, just what's the point of doing it? And that's just life in general. If you're not happy in something, just don't do it. It's really not that big of a deal if someone drops one or if you're in one. It really doesn't define who you are whatsoever. So I don't want to be talking about it too much, because there's just way more to my whole college experience than just Greek life. If you're watching this and like debating to be in a sorority or a frat or Greek life or anything in general, definitely just give it a shot, because you seriously never know. Like, I know a lot of people that like were like, I'm not going to be in a sorority, I don't want to be like that, whatever, and then they ended up like rushing, finding one that's like completely like good for them, and they ended up like loving it. So definitely just like give it a shot, because you seriously never know what can happen. Overall, for my freshman year, so grateful for like everything that happened. Obviously, there were definitely some lows of stuff, of kind of like doubting myself, of stuff of what I'm like capable of, like if college is even like for me, or kind of just like all this negativity, I guess, in a way, but also just more of like a realization. So there's definitely those times, but then I also had those kind of the high moments of having fun, meeting amazing people, amazing friends that I'm just like so grateful for. and everything, but also I feel like the majority of my college experience was more so in that like middle ground between the lows and the highs of kind of that like contentness, and I feel like that's just life in general. Honestly, I looked at everything as like a learning experience. Like if I messed up on something, I was like, you know what, I'm only a freshman, like I can use the freshman card, be like, I don't know, man, I'm sorry, it's my first year or something. I kind of just went in with no expectations, and if you're watching this about to go to college or something, go in with no expectations, because then it can't be ruined. If you go in with high expectations and it's lower than your standards, then good luck. A really big thing that I realized was like, there are so many things that might happen, this happened to me, that are just like completely out of your control, and there's nothing you can do to change it. So the best thing to do is just like control the way you kind of like react and the way you perceive it. But yeah, that was my whole freshman kind of experience, and I'm really happy and just grateful for all the ups and downs and the opportunities, because again, as I said, it's all just a learning experience. So if you guys liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, the usual. Like, can't even believe I'm like saying that to a camera, like that sounds like kind of cringy, like thumbs up, subscribe, but like for real, so it can help some other people out if they're looking for some advice or just to know someone else's story, so they don't feel as alone or something about being scared to go to college. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and stick around for some more videos, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.